Blacks in Technology.
Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology.
Welcome everybody to the 16th episode of the Blacks in Technology audio podcast. I'm your host. My name is Greg Greenlee. And today we have our guest, James Hopkins. James goes by the name of Brother Binary. That's his Twitter handle. And we're going to talk to him about his IT career, what he's got going on in his life right now as far as technology. And just overall, we're going to have a good, technology talk. So I want to introduce James Hopkins to the show. Thanks, James, for taking time out of your day, man, to come on the show and talk tech with us.
Definitely appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate the love out there, the tech love.
No doubt, no doubt. So let's get a little background information on you, where you're from, how you got your start in tech, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I'm originally from Evanston, Illinois, which is a northern suburb of Chicago. Anybody that's ever been out to Chicago definitely knows where Evanston's at. My love for technology I guess my passion's always been there ever since I first put my hand on an Apple computer back when I was in junior high school, playing on a screen that was black and green, everything mesmerized me. Then I got into high school and I got into a little bit of hacking where I learned a lot more from there. And then just me touching everything and going about it and seeing how technology, it revolves. It constantly is growing. It's constantly changing. It's a fast-paced industry, and it runs the world. I mean, technology is here, and it's one thing that I realized that would never go away. So I figured, hey, why not put my passion with my career goals and hand in hand and go from there.
Got it. Now, I do notice on your Twitter when you tweet sometimes you say respect my geekdom. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm 6'3" almost, African American male. I don't look like what we consider the average stereotypical geek in America. So, people walk around and they be like, "Man, you're a geek." I be like, "Yeah, respect my geekdom." Yes, respect.
Gotcha.
I am a geek. I am a nerd. I am a techie. By no matter means, no matter what goes on, I'll take it. But respect what I am, and I am a geek. And it's just something I made up. Yeah, it was something I made up. That's all. Because I'm a geek. I say it. I love it. I love being a geek. There we go.
It's interesting that you say that because I know some people try to get away from that term geek, get away from that term nerd, and there's actually a discussion on the Blacks in Technology website right now that I talk about pretty much embracing that it's not pretty much we are the people who define what geek is, and geek doesn't define us. So it's a part of us, and it's a part of what we do and who we are, but it doesn't define who we are. It's just one of those things that it's like sports. I like sports. I like hip hop music. I like tech, and all those things combine to make me who I am. But I define each one of those things, and as far as how the perspective that I want it to have, and not the other way around. And I think that's definitely something that needs to be taught or even brought up a lot more in our community, so it's not looked upon as being lame or uncool. It needs to be to a point to where it's looked at as, hey, so what? He's into tech. He's still one of the homies, one of the guys, and there's nothing wrong with him wanting to pursue technology or wanting to be intelligent. I don't think there should be a distinction within our culture, as far as intelligence and technology and things like that. I think it should just be one of those things that makes up that person, and not totally define that person. That person should define everything around it. So that's interesting that you say that. As a matter of fact, the other day I was reading the TCP/IP guide online, and I was vibing to Watch the Throne, the new album by Kanye and Jay-Z, and I actually tweeted something online that said something along the lines of being a black geek and listening to Jay-Z and Kanye while I'm reading TCP/IP online guide. So I thought that's pretty interesting. And you're a graduate from ITT Tech, and what's your degree in?
Computer networking systems. I have my associate's degree from there. Yeah, and that was an experience. I learned a lot. There was a lot of good professors there, but I learned a lot more on my own. And I think that still goes hand in hand because I'm currently at DePaul as well, getting my bachelor's degree. So I think as it boils down to having that degree is one thing, but my main focus is to learn more on my own and gain certification because I'm starting to realize IT is it's very straightforward when it comes to having experience and certifications to get in the door and stay there. What
certifications are you?
Right now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm coming back. I'm coming through CompTIA first. And I want to get my A+, my Network Plus, and my Security Plus. After that, I have my eye on a couple of Microsoft certifications and Cisco certs, all of them geared toward the network admin, and network security. But also had a passion to I wanted to be a Microsoft trainer as well, because one of my great mentors, he works for Microsoft here in the city of Chicago, and that is actually where I'll be having my internship at. So that's another passion. So I definitely give kudos to Microsoft out there, no matter what.
Okay. Are you into Linux at all?
No, I never have been, and I'm not saying I have it set up on a virtual machine on one of my PCs here at home. I just haven't got that deep into it. Maybe because I'm always doing other things, and I'm trying to focus on stay in my lane, my exact career path. But I know Linux on the networking side is pretty huge, so I gotta learn it. It's not one of the things I can no longer hate. I realize I have to learn it, period. So.
Yeah. I just always noticed, usually when people are going into network security, a good friend of mine, Ronnie Hash, who also helps me out with the site, he's, a huge security guy. There's also a few security guys on the site, too. And he got a CEH, I think, sometimes, his Certified Ethical Hacker certification, I think sometime last year. And he's a big Linux guy. I'm a big Linux guy as well, although I do use Microsoft for my home PC, but my laptop and my other servers and my lab at home are actually running Linux. But I do notice that a lot of the better network security tools, network security suites are Linux based or have Linux distros devoted to security. So that's why I asked. So what got you into the whole network security side of things?
I've always realized that, even with, some of the things that I want to do, I took it was at TT Tech when I first came in, it was a one class that you took that every day or every other 2 days, they covered a different side of technology. Basically, they gave a rundown. They showed you, slides of what the industry's like. Different, how to go about it or whatever. And it was just something that just keyed me in, seeing it, Not only can I be on the software side of things, but I can still be hands-on on the hardware side as well, which I really love still, because I used to build PCs a lot back in the day. So back when it was actually popular to build a PC, a custom PC.
Yeah.
So now it's it allows me to do both. So I think that's where I found it, and once I started learning more a little bit about it, it was something I really wanted to focus in. Now, it's not the easiest thing in the world, that's for sure, but there's jobs for it. There's a career base for it, and it's not going nowhere as long as you can keep up.
Gotcha. You have two sons, correct? 8 and 4.
Yeah, Isaiah and Joshua. Those that's my motivation right there.
Okay, that's what's up. Now let me ask you this: Are they into technology? Do you push them into technology, or are you kind of guiding them towards that way, or are they kind of doing their own thing?
No, they still have their things they like to do, like playing music and sports and art. But they sit on a computer like I do. I have them sit here. They'll play with my tablet. They'll play with my phone, and we just don't like to play games. I would talk to them about installing stuff, or how to type. Because that's one big thing. Like typing has disappeared out of schools, especially in the inner city. Basic typing skills. My sons know how to type especially my 8-year. He type pretty fast, being 8 years old. It's kind of crazy, but he can talk, to the best of his abilities when it comes to technology. And I just like to keep them in that. I don't want to like force my passion on them. I just want them to embrace exactly what I'm doing. So maybe they like whatever Dad likes, but they also have their own things. But I want to keep them in the loop with stuff because one of our big things, we have a very big digital divide in our community, with African Americans and Latinos. And I have a very bad problem with that, but maybe we'll get in that later. But they stay on it. I keep them in it. That's just what I have to do.
That's good. I agree. I mean, it's almost an image thing. When whatever they see is what they know, and if they don't see, like in the household, such like in your case, they see their dad, they see him on the computer, they see him working out problems or building a computer or something like that. They're able to see that image and see that that's something that black people do. And that's something we always kind of touch on in a lot of our podcasts. Is the image of a black tech, and it being a thing that should be a staple and not something that's kind of mythical in nature, because that's one of the reasons why I feel that a lot of young black kids don't even get into technology. Is because there's a huge absence of that image everywhere, in the media, on television, and magazines. That's my rant.
Yeah, you hit it on the button because I went to there was a couple of years ago, we went around to these schools, and they were mentor speaking. And every time the guy got up, he would blurt out different career fields, and he would see who raised their hand. We went to, I want to say about 7 different high schools, and I just sat back in the back, and I just wanted to see, just there for observation. And every time technology came around, or engineering, or science, or whatever, out of the 7 schools we went to, and a total of together maybe, I want to say around 700 to maybe 800 students, I can count 7 hands that rose. That's it. And it's funny because we use this technology as every day more than any other, any other race. We use this every day, but we're not creating it. We're not programming. We're not making the software. We're not engineering the hardware. We're not coming up with the concepts and the design, but we use it. And we're not even really using it, to the ability or the use, per se, have you. So, it was always they kind of shocked me. It's still taboo. I mean, being geek is lame, and being a nerd is a lame. That's still something that's played out in this negative type imagery. When it comes down to it, they rather play a sport or rap or whatever. And, it's, even when you still break down the statistics of how hard it is to, say, play in the NBA, or how hard it is to actually become an actual, hip hop artist, that can actually make money, they still don't get it. And it's like, dude, you like this stuff, you play with it all the time, but yet you don't want to go into the field because of what you may think your friends think.
Yeah.
And that's where the whole brother binary concept came from. I'm a GQ geek. That's what I call it. I don't look the same. I'm clean with it. I'm suave with it. I'm smooth, but I'm a geek. I don't look like the average geek. And if you call me one, I don't take offense to it. Cool, go ahead. One day you're gonna need me, and I'm gonna send you my invoice, and I'll tell you how much of a geek I am at that time.
I like that. I like that. I like that whole perspective, because that's something that I want to definitely change. And you talked about, well, and we're going to get into that here in a second about the brotherbinary.com. But on the Blacks in Technology website, that's one of my ultimate goals, is to give a face to the black tech, and not the stereotypical face that you might be accustomed to, or you might assume but the face that is, that I feel that should be out there right now. Because I'm the same way. I'm 6'1". I'm kind of stocky built, and I like to play sports. I like hip hop music. I always have listened to it for years, since before a teenager, but at the same time, I like technology and I collect comic books, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a part of me. And like you said, I like to look nice. I like to dress nice, but like I said before, all those things is what makes it's what makes up me, and it's just always been a part of me, and it should be no reason why the two can't coexist. Why being smart and intelligent and being into technology can't coexist with being cool and dressing nice and listening to hip hop music. There should be no separation between those two. So I definitely feel you 100% on that. So let's talk about brotherbinary.com and your vision for your site.
Yeah, this is it's actually in the process now. Like a preview page is kind of up right now. I'm having my peer advisor, which is Little Tech Girl. That's her Twitter handle. That's my peer advisor, my mentor. You know what I'm saying? She's actually, Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that she just. I think she did. She just started following Blacks in Technology, and I was just checking her out and checking out her blog page. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, so she's creating my page right now. We finally got the header up in the background, and it's starting to come together. I should officially be up and running probably by this weekend. But my whole thing is to make geeking out. I want people to come to my page and geek out with me. You know what I'm saying? I want them to come here and see reviews of products, but I don't want to speak to people. I've seen some, like there are some blog sites out there, tech blog sites, in which I noticed that the language sometimes, it seems like the writers are talking to other techies, but they can't, you know how the jargon is always, sometimes just like it's directed toward somebody that already knows everything about this. I want to come at you. I want to target, not saying to dumb it down, but just to be able to come at people in an approachable manner. And let's talk about technology. Let's talk about what's actually new in the field. Let's talk about how you can go about changing certain things, your perspective on technology. Let's talk about how we can actually, bridge the digital divide, how we can come together, and let's talk about the newest TVs or the newest tablets or the newest cell phones and conversate, not more or less me just throwing a whole bunch of specs out there at you, but it looks like I'm having a conversation, giving you, a cooler perspective, let's say, per se, when it comes to talking about stuff. And then the other part is just I have a random page where I do random posts like I do on my Brother Binary on Twitter, and my photography little side and my cooking side. And then it's my radio show that I have at DePaul University. That will be another page because That's One Heart, One Love, and One Soul. I'm going into the third year with that. I've done a lot of big interviews as of late, everything from like Kay Michelle, John Brown, Marsha Ambrosius, Jill Scott, Bone Thugs and Harmony. We Camp Low, doing more and more things like that. But because I'm also the promotions manager at Radio DePaul, so I want to keep people in the know of my playlist for the whatever I played that night. I want to make sure I put my playlist up there and a link where people can download it. So I want to keep people in the know with my radio show and music as far as R&B goes, because I'm a huge R&B soul guy. That's the reason why I brought it to Radio DePaul. And, that's Brother Binary. It's just a cooler way just to give you information about technology, keep you informed, get your ideas, see what people like and what they don't like, and, and that's how we go about it. Just have fun, have people come geek out with me.
Gotcha. Now, well, what are you currently doing right now in your career, IT-wise?
I work currently at DePaul University. I do IT work for the School of Education. That aspect, I have my internship with Microsoft popping up. I do consulting work on the side. I'm more or less trying to now narrow down getting that into an actual LLC and creating a business for it, but not only to create it for just pure profit, but to see if I can bring in younger people to take on some work and go out there into the field with me and be able to gain not only the technology skills, but gain the people skills and the communication skills and see what this field is really about. Really mentor them, instead of just tell them how good the field is. I want to show it to them, So that's big with me right now. And eventually, I do want to I just want to be an owner of my own company. I can't see myself working for somebody for my entire life. I can see myself doing consulting work for companies, but more or less, out there, college student, making my rounds, getting my degree, and, trying to make things happen.
That's good, man. I definitely respect, that what you're doing. Respect your the movement, and keep me in tune on the brotherbinary.com. I visited the web page, and I see that it has like a splash page up when it's going to be, I guess, launching. So you say that should be sometime.
Wait, you don't see it yet? Oh, maybe it should be up. Have you looked at it recently?
The actual, let me look again. I thought I looked yesterday or maybe today. And
we unlocked it.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
Yeah, we unlocked it today just to start prepping for it because it's about ready. So,
wow.
Still working
I like
on it.
that.
But yeah, it's going to be big. I'm going to, I want the name Brother Binary to be everywhere. I'm trying to go, blogging while black, and I'm trying to go to all these conferences and just geek out with people and, just show them, hey, I'm a geek, hear me roar. Respect my geekdom. I help you, you help me. It's going to be a beautiful world. Technology revolves everything, It rules everything. And, I just want
people to... The site looks real nice, man. I definitely like the clean layout of it. But give everybody the URL for that.
Oh, yeah. It's www.brotherbinary.com. Brother Binary is BROTHABINARY.com. And then one more thing I'm working on. I just want to make sure, because I know we about to get ready to get up out of here.
We got as much time as you want, man.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's no time limit on this.
I remember you asked me one more question. You said what I'm working on. There's another fellow DePaul student that graduated that I'm working with, which is nerdy_fly_girl on Twitter. But she has a mobile media medium that basically it expands businesses to increase their brand equity and mobile marketing. That's NEMediaChicago.com, which is literally NEME or Media Chicago. So the letter N, the letter E, Media Chicago. It's it's a brand new movement. I'm definitely supporting her. She's doing web design services and everything. So I'm definitely backing her up on a lot of things that she's trying to do right now. And with Little Tech Girl, that's somebody I definitely look up to. She's taught me a lot. So I'm working with them too, and getting this off the ground.
And all of you guys are in Chicago?
Yes, all of us are in the
man.
Chicagoland area.
That's a good thing because hopefully I'll be in Chicago on the weekend of October 22nd. I don't know if you've heard of Ariel Patrice Scott. She runs the GenJuice.com. I don't know if you've heard of GenJuice.com. But her and another sister from I can't remember the name of the college they're from, but they actually used to stay in California and go to school out there, and they just relocated to New York to get the GenJuice.com pretty much jumping off, and they did a total site redesign and everything, and they're actually bringing Gin Juice to different cities. They're doing a tour. And so, I'm in Cincinnati, so I'm about, 4.5, 5 hours away. I was going to go up there and do a video interview with her. She's actually been on a podcast before, but I wanted to get an interview with her and Danielle, who was one of her partners, while they were pretty close by. And now that, I'm seeing, I just pulled up nerdy_fly_girl, and I'm following her now on Twitter. So, if I'm up, in that area during that time and everybody, might want to get together and hang out and geek out, then, we can make that happen.
I say we do that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate when you come up here. And, we got to get we got to get a chapter up here in Chicago. I remember I had talked to you a long time ago about that. I'm trying to get the Brother Binary off of the ground. But
okay.
We have to make that happen.
Yeah, okay. Hey, I remember that now.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was what was that, like last year?
Yeah,
we're actually in the process of redesigning the Blacks in Technology site right now. I'm working with a sister on the site. She's a member. She's out of Texas, computer science major, and she's helping me with the site layout and things like that, because I want to make the site more intuitive, easier to navigate. At the same time, kind of keep that clean look to it. But I pretty much, trying to make it a staple, the same way you're doing with your site. And one of the things that I want to do with the site is eventually have almost like a directory, a services directory that people can submit their information about their business, their tech business, or if they're doing web design or something like that, and input it into the directory. And so if anybody on the site, a member, needs some type of service, they don't need to go outside to do it. They can do it within the membership, within the Black community, and keep that money, within the community.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
It's good that you're pretty much hooking me up with some of the names of these people who do web design and things like that. So, if it can help them get some business, whenever, that's great, because I'm looking at your site right now, man, and I'm really feeling the design on this. And I keep my network. I always say I got to have a network of individuals around me that I can always call on. Like, so I have my graphic design artist. I have Little Tech Girl. Like if you click on the One Heart, One Love, and One Soul link, and you see that flyer that's there, that's actually by another friend of mine, Shagun Dent. He's a DePaul graduate getting his master's. I've known this man since 6th grade, and he's designed every last one of my flyers. That's another guy that I know. The cartoon, the character that you see, that's made by another guy of mine, Chastoon, on Twitter.
So I keep a different amount of people, and I'm starting to get my circles together. So people that I know that are specialized in this, or people who, and that's, beyond just the realm of technology, but I think we should always have people who we know that are accountants, people who we know that are in the medical field, people that we know that are lawyers or engineers or into math, so that way we can keep, like you said, keep that money flowing within our own community. And that's what I'm really gearing this site for. It's not saying nobody can visit my site, but I'm gearing it toward African Americans and Latinos, just for us.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think sometimes we get locked out of this sector, and I don't want people to feel that way.
Yeah, well, it's all about, to me, and I've always kind of stressed this, it's not about exclusion, it's about inclusion. And then until we start including ourselves in the tech realm and start getting our youngsters into this realm, how can we expect other people to include us, unless we include ourselves? That's the same way, with some of these so, for instance, like a club or a sorority or a fraternity or something. In order for you to be included, you have to go through a certain initiation or a certain thing to prove that you belong. And until we start including ourselves in this field of technology, we can't expect everybody to just pull us in. We have to include ourselves in this in the game, pretty much. So that's kind of how I feel about the whole entire thing. That's why one of the things that I said about the Blacks in Technology site is it's not about exclusion, it's about inclusion. We're trying to include ourselves so that we're not excluded, in the future from being on the tech scene, period. Because that's one of the biggest things that you hear about is that there's an absence of black techs, and we're underrepresented. It's time to pull these people up and include ourselves.
That's the truth right there. I know definitely. I see that a lot when I go to conferences. Like I'm a member of like the BDPA, the Black Data Process Association. So when I go to like the Chicago chapter meetings here in Chicago, it's cool. But then let me go to, like, I went to WordCamp. A conference camp that was held, a couple of weeks ago at DePaul University. Okay. And just like every other conference.
Is that the WordPress?
Yeah.
Is that the WordPress? Okay.
And went there, and it's not like I knew exactly what I was going to head into, but you don't see too many faces that look like you. You really don't. I mean, and the ones that you do see, you most likely know already, because it's a very small circle. So I just want to, get out there and just make technology look cool. I don't want people to think like this is some kind of lame stuff all day long. And I'm thinking like, well, if it's lame, then it's lame. Don't take it as it is. Well, just look at the possible career goals that you can make. Look at the money that you can make. Look at the people that you can actually make, the stuff that you'll be able to actually test out or design. Why not?
Yeah.
It's nothing lame about being a geek. There's nothing. It's like one of the coolest things. Me being as big as I am, too, I don't think not many people's going to tease me about it. It's just like, oh, you're a geek. But, like, really? But,
I have that same... Yeah, I have that same experience because I go to a lot of, hacker conferences. There's actually one that I'm going to, a security conference in Louisville called DerbyCon. It's pretty much
I heard that. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much a security conference. And, a lot of these conferences, I go to the Ohio Linux Fest. I've been to the Southeast Linux Fest. I haven't been to DEF CON yet, although I want to try to make it there, sometime next year.
I heard about it this year.
Oh, you did hear about it?
Well, no, I've heard about it, but then there was like a lot of news coming out of this year in particular.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
there's always news coming out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they make IT staff look very foolish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But every time I go to these conferences, which is really one of the reasons why I even started Blacks in Technology, because I went to Ohio Linux Fest, and it was me and the other guy Ronnie Hash, who helps me out with the site. It was just us two, and it was just disheartening, and that, during that period, I was just like, I don't understand this, and I wasn't upset at. Because you can't be upset at white society, and that's not how I took it. It was more or less of I don't when there's a problem like that, I don't like to look at, white people are shutting us out. No, we have to do something. We have to take action, and that's kind of how I felt like we need to do something about this, and that became my crusade, so to speak, towards getting more black people into the technology field and finding out the reasons why there aren't, as many black people in attendance in some of these conferences. These conferences have very, very informative talks about, open source technology, about, how to just a wide variety of things, security stuff, and I don't understand why there's this stigma. Okay, I can't go to this conference. I don't want to be at this conference because it's going to make me, look lame. When there's so much information to soak up here. The same thing happened when I went to a VMware conference right here in Cincinnati. It was over 3,000 or 4,000 people and maybe 10 blacks, and that's no lie. 10 blacks because I met all of them. I gave them cards for the Blacks in Technology site, and out of all those people, about virtualization, about something that's huge in the industry right now. And we're only represented by 10 people.
Yeah, and it's a norm. It's saddening. It is disheartening, but I think that's why I try to go as many as I can. And, I can't go as much as I want to. Like I said, I'm a college student. I got the kids. I got, church things I got to deal with, school things I got to deal with, life I have to deal with there pretty much. But hopefully I get to the point where I can do these random travels and go to the West Coast and down south and, go over to Japan because that's my minor at DePaul is Japanese. So I know that's even weird. When I tell people I'm a geek and then I tell my minors in Japanese, they're like, okay, you define all. And then at first they ask, have you been in the military? Because, anytime it's an off language or language that's not of the norm, they think you're in the military. And I kind of laugh like, no. Then you sit there like, huh? You're a geek and you're, okay, I don't understand you. Don't understand it. I'm not meant to be understood. Just know that I am Brother Binary and he is who he is.
Yeah. So let's talk technology. What's going on that you know of in the tech world. I see that you're using the Asus EE pad.
Yes.
So how is that working out for you? How do you like the EE?
This is a very beautiful piece of hardware. I've had an iPad before. Had an iPad too. I got this only because I get tired of being on the train, and when I'm on the train, I see nothing but Apple devices. I am not an Apple hater because I've had the iPhone 4, I've had my iPad, I've had the iPhone 3G, 3GS, Max. Hey, cool. I just want to be different. So when I get on, people looking like, what is that in his hand? Everybody knows what an iPad looks like. So, but yeah, this is I ended up getting this because it's rated probably the top, and most is always in the top 3 current best Android tablets right now in the market, and it only comes in behind the Samsung Galaxy, and that's about it.
Really?
Yeah, and most reviewers and most top 10s and most top 5s, this thing is awesome. It is crisp, it is clear, it is fast, it is fluent. It's a technology orgasm. It's that's what it is.
So what are some of the specs? What's the specs on that?
Well, I know it comes with. Hold on, let me just make sure because I don't want to say this thing wrong or whatever. It's a 10-inch tablet. 10 point. I want to say 10.1. 10.1 widescreen. You can flip it over into the portrait view, and it automatically switches. The back, the best way I could describe the back is carbon fiber, but it's not carbon fiber,
Okay.
but the same texture, the same hole. It's clean. There's a 5-megapixel camera in the back, a 1.5-megapixel camera in the front.
Nice.
One of the best things, it's a LED backlit. It's multi-touch. I think it's 1280 by 800 pixels.
Okay.
It does have a micro HDMI slot on the side, which is really beautiful. It even has a micro SD card slot. Because the current one that I have is 32 gigabytes, but you can put a micro SD to expand the memory even more. That's just crazy to me. That's already a lot, 32. But one of the best things that I don't have with this yet happens to be the attachment keyboard. It will basically turn into a netbook. And in all honesty, with the keys that work perfect for the functions of a touchscreen. So instead of having your typical F1 through, F12 keys on the top of your keyboard, you have the different keys that will actually function to use, the tablet itself. It will, go to your docs. It will go to your file folders. It will go to your apps, one for your settings, your brightness, turn on your Wi-Fi, turn it off. Typically almost like on laptops when, how you have the function key with the secondary through F1 through F12, So it has the graphics card. That is probably the main reason why I bought it, because, yes, I'm somewhat of a gamer still. I just don't play consoles anymore.
Gotcha.
But it has the NVIDIA Tegra 2 processor. And I played some of the most beautiful-looking games I've ever seen on a tablet. I mean, ever.
Wow.
I'm a big football fan, so one of the first things I bought was Backbreaker. And I'm just looking at this thing, like how quickly it moves, how fluent it moves, no pixelation, no lagging. It's great. It's overall, it doesn't weigh much at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty nice in the hands, like I said, with the grip in the back.
Yeah.
The Gorilla Glass, I've actually tested out the Gorilla Glass because I wanted to see if everybody said what was true. It was supposed to be scratch resistant, beautiful. Okay, cool. I'm gonna test it out. I wanted to test it out in theory. Took my key, took some coins, dropped them, took a screw, tried to scratch, nothing appeared, which shocked me.
Wow.
I was like, okay, because I'm not the type. I don't like to buy the screen protectors because I like to touch my actual phone. I don't like that. It takes away from the glossiness and the niceness of the bright screen when you put those on it sometimes, But, I haven't tried some things on it. I know it can record in like 720p HD, but I haven't tried that yet. The only thing I don't like about it is the audio, talking into the mic. Because I've tried to actually, I use Tango, and I tried a video conference with my girlfriend, and the volume is so low, it's horrible. It's horrible. So that's
what is Tango? I've never used Tango.
Tango's, imagine it just like a version of Skype.
Okay.
Except, it's basically a video messenger based upon your phone number, but you can use it on your tablet. But it's the only one on a tablet that I've found so far that would allow me to use my front-facing camera to be able to video chat with somebody. Skype still doesn't allow that correctly to a point. I think the new update does, but it doesn't like to play nice sometimes. So Tango is something I've used on my Android device before, so maybe I'm just used to it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's a beautiful piece of hardware. It's probably going to be the first thing I review for my site. It's actually halfway wrote now, so it's probably going to be my first review just to see, put my feet in the water and get them a little wet and seeing how a review comes out and go from there.
Gotcha. I actually haven't gotten a full-fledged tablet. I did purchase a Nook Color. What was that? Some months ago I did, and ended up hacking it and putting being able to, put the Android marketplace and everything on it. And I use it as a tablet, although now, it's not nearly as fast. It serves its purpose. I use it mostly for reading. I do listen to music on it.
Right.
I have looked at videos on it, and it works pretty well. I've done things with it. Hold on, that was somebody picking up the phone.
That's all good.
So I've done a few things with it. I've downloaded quite a few apps. Like a Twitter interface. I've done like the Facebook on there. What else? Easy PDF reader. Oh yeah, Easy PDF reader. I've got a file explorer on there that I use to actually access different files on my file server, which works pretty nice. So I've made it useful, but I want something with a bigger screen and something that's a little bit faster, and something that's really just more of a full-fledged tablet as opposed to an e-reader, converted to a tablet. But I did it like that because of the price. I got it for like $200 on Craigslist, and also because of the the geekiness factor of just being able to hack it. So
there's the other key, yeah. That's the beauty of it all.
Exactly. So, what other things are you working on as far as on Brother Binary? Like you say, you're going to be doing like product reviews and things like that. Any other? Do you plan on doing like any like tech articles as far as like how-tos or anything like that? Is that going to play into a part of?
Yeah, that is actually one big thing with me because, I get random advice to people like every day, like, about backing up your PC, about how to create a strong password or how not to have, your Facebook account doing spam or how to actually take care of your online social networks and, the advantages of having, being socially, online or the disadvantages, different tips, how to clean your PC, how to keep your stuff up, different products to you be able to clean your PC or, how to go out and actually buy hardware, what's the right software to buy, little stuff like that ever so often, just so people can stay in the know and just don't feel like they don't know anything about technology. There's so many different programs and different stuff I've used over time, and I just want to be able to share that with people and different sites I go to be able to buy stuff for, a lot of people that I have respect for in the game, what they're doing out there, have, guest blogs and, have them come in and talk about something they're doing and being able to network with other people on my blog so other people know exactly what they're doing.
Gotcha. What sites do you frequent in order to get like information like that?
You said what sites do I frequent often?
That you frequent, yeah, that you go to, and where do you get a lot of your information from?
Twitter. I know it sounds weird, but it's Twitter.
Oh no, it's not weird at all. I've heard that quite a bit.
Yeah, it's there's different blog sites that I have, like I'll follow Lil Tech Girl. I'll follow Brother Tech, CNET.com, PC World, the Cubicle Chick, her blog, That Girl Tech, different ones like that.
Okay.
And that's typically how I actually keep up with the know. But Twitter, yeah, that's how I do it. I like Twitter.
Now, do you say that a lot of the stuff that you do is self-taught? Do you have like a home lab that you have set up?
You could call it a home lab. It's, I have my desktop. I have my laptop, my tablet, my virtual environment.
Okay.
So basically, I come home. I just sit in front of the computer all day at work, and all day it doesn't matter to me. But once I get home, I'm just experimenting. I'm going to different sites. I'm installing different programs just so I can play around with it. And yeah.
All right. So you're saying you get your information from Twitter, from people that you follow, different companies that tech companies that you may follow.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. Because I realized that I have an RSS feed, so of course my feed does a whole lot of different blogs. I don't have time to really get directly to them all the time.
Okay.
But Twitter, yeah, that's pretty much my info getter. If I was to say, it's Twitter. I don't do magazines or whatever because I only buy Fortune, Forbes, and Black Enterprise. That's it, and they are far left from everything. But
and then you say your lab pretty much consists of you got a virtual environment, you got your desktop, your laptop, and pretty much just experiment.
Yeah, that's all I have to do because I realized that you can sit in class all day long or read books, but you got to try this stuff out. You actually got to play around with it. So that's just that's what I do. I set it up differently.
Yeah, that's we actually had there's a video on our site where me and Ronnie Hash, we talk about our labs and the importance of labs to an up and coming tech or to a tech period. Simply because a lot of if you're working in the technology field already, a lot of times you can't experiment with things on a production network. So unless your job has a staging or development environment or a testing environment, you really can't do a whole lot. So a lot of times because tech is being in technology. I mean, it's a constant learning. So it's not just on the job where you if you're passionate about it anyhow, it's not just on the job learning that you do. It's pretty much all the time. So for people that are already in technology, that might be the only way they can really experiment. And for people that are looking to get into technology, it's a real good way for a person to gain some type of experience, certain tools or certain technologies that they probably can't really do because they don't have the job to do it. So on a LinkedIn site, as a matter of fact, there was a discussion we have on the Blacks Gone Geek LinkedIn group, and it's one of the things I always try to stress. If you're looking to get your foot in the door, and people won't give you a chance because they say you don't have the experience, set up a lab. Do a bunch of labbing. I mean, lab until you can't lab anymore. At least when you go into these interviews, you can talk the talk. I haven't done it in a production environment, but I know what it is. I know what it looks like, and I won't be unfamiliar with it if I came into your environment. The only thing I would need to know then at that point is how you guys what your procedure is on doing it.
Right. And you made a good point because that's exactly how I end up learning because when you do walk into these interviews, there's, that's my big thing, about bridging the digital divide, because you'll have a situation where kids in the inner city schools, a lot of them don't have the same technology at their disposal, per se, somebody at a suburb school up here, like in Evanston or with NECA or with Met, where you walk in there and every student pretty much got an Apple laptop or an Apple desktop sitting there, or their books have been replaced by iPads, where inner city schools, the only way they're going to see an iPad is if they go downtown to the Michigan store and play with it in the store itself. That's a problem to me. You know, they're already at a disadvantage because the technologies aren't in the school. And then at home, you don't have, you know, because since I live in like a predominantly white suburb of Evanston, but it's right next to the north side of Chicago. So I grew up on the south side of Evanston, so it's a little different on that side. But I'll take the train in the morning time, and I did an experiment where I wanted to see what were in people's hands and what were they doing with it. So I got on the train one day, over 2 days, I got on the train, and I would see some teams, and as I was in Evanston or on the north side of Chicago, I would see iPhones, iPads out, Kindles, even laptops. You know, some people are bold enough to have their laptops out on public transportation. Why, I have no idea. But once I get past downtown, head towards the south side, the demographics change. You know, that's primarily the African Americans. And the technology changes instantly. You don't see iPads because economically there is a big difference too. Economics does play a huge part. But I asked the teens, you know, what were they using? You know, how were they using their phones? They was like, oh, I'm just, you know, texting and chatting up with my friends, you know. I'm like, well, do you read about technology or do you just use technology? And it was like, oh, I just use it. It's just, you know, this is what I use. I'm on Facebook and whatever. But then when I came up here and asked a few teens, they was like, oh, you know, I've done some programming. I made an app or I did this. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So then the next day I went back and I asked, I asked some more teens. I was like, how come, you know, I went back to I was like, how come you don't really, you know, you don't want to make the apps that you use or whatever? They was like, no, that's lame. That's computer stuff. And I'm like, okay, I just want to see where people stood at the thought still when it comes to technology. And I still don't like the fact, I don't think it's about being lame. I think we're just, we don't have the understanding because we're not offered. You know, there's programming classes in some of these schools, and you don't see none of a computer class in inner city schools at all.
Yeah.
They just teach them how to use the computer, but they don't teach them the basics of programming or, you know, how to do a JavaScript or, they go to websites, but how about you teach them basic HTML outside of like doing something like Tumblr or whatever?
Yeah.
Why aren't we teaching them how to do it and, produce the stuff they would like to use? We're not doing it. It's not being done in our schools, and I want to try to do something different. I want to try to have little seminars with the youth wherever I can go and just bring like some desktops or bring some, get some sponsors so I can bring some tablets out or whatever, and we can let them play around with it outside of going to a store where they're going to be booted out if they just sitting there playing with it because they're not going to buy the product.
Yeah.
I have a lot of passion about that.
Yeah. You and me both. That is a huge argument when it comes to the digital divide, and you hear this whole thing of there's the broadband internet going to coming to the inner cities, and it's going to bridge the gap, the digital divide gap, and my argument is that's not going to do anything if we don't change the mindset. I mean, and my whole argument against that is there's libraries in inner cities. There's always been libraries in inner cities. Now, getting the kids to go over to the library and do something with them is totally different. And what I mean by that is, you can bring the internet to every inner city house in America, but that's not going to make the kids create.
Nope.
Right? That's not going to stop them from being just being on Facebook to creating the next Facebook. And that's why I feel that's to me is the digital divide, the difference between consumerism and creating. And we need to be more on the side of creating than we're already on the side of being consumers. We need to we need to be on the side of being creators and not even, and it's, to me, it's not even just developing apps. What about all the other different technology career fields out there that is needed to make everything work? Network engineers or storage engineers or network administrators or, there's a ton of, virtualization engineers. There's a ton of careers out there. It's just not, all about programming. There's a bunch of, different careers out there that makes the internet go and makes, these applications be able to be run on different platforms and things like that. So that's why I think we need to,
And I think it's always been like a twofold to me. And it's I'm on two T's. This is how it's called, my two T theory. We have them turn off the TV and turn into technology. Because TV somehow, especially in our community, it plays a vital role in what African American children believe that's all they can be. They believe they can only be this because that's all they see. They believe they can only be that because that's all they see. They don't see African Americans in these other fields. They don't hear the African Americans about being in these other fields. And because of it, they feel like that's not a field they want to go into. They don't feel like they can be an engineer because they don't see black engineers. They don't feel like they can go into a field and be a programmer, a software engineer, a data administrator, a network administrator, a project manager, because they don't see these people. They don't see that in the field because there's very few of us. And I think more of us that just take on the responsibility that are already here and just show them, hey, look, this is what this field is about. This is what this field is about. This is what you should be able to do. You can't, if you have a passion for it, and stop making them think that because of what their peers think that matters. Have the self-confidence, like, you know what, this is the field I choose. You could be on board or get off my ship. It's one of the two. Yeah. But technology is something I love and embrace it because there's probably so many youths out there, African American and Latino youths out there that love technology. They would love to work in the field, but their self-esteem and what they deem and see around their peers and around their social networks says, no, this isn't cool. You need to be this or you need to do that or you need to do that to be considered cool. And I want them to know that once you get out of high school, being cool really ain't that important. Unless you in the entertainment industry. I'm not trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have a career. It really doesn't matter. And I know back in high school, I really didn't care personally, myself per se, if I was in the cool crowd or whatever. I could care less what they were doing. I was worried about trying to how to hack into seeing grades and stuff. That's what I was doing at the time. I was trying to learn about the computer by hacking. That's what I was doing. I was hacking into databases I shouldn't have been, hacking into my teacher's computers, breaking passwords, changing stuff around, and almost getting us failed. That's how I ended up learning. That's how I believe that most of the people that work for the government in those fields, most of them were previous hackers that got busted by doing very good jobs, and they didn't go to jail. They just got hired on.
Yep.
How did you break into our security system? Oh, easily. Well, you can either go to jail or you can work for us. Oh, work for you? Yeah. Work for us or go to jail. Okay, well, you know what they're going to do. The best of the best works for the best. If you bust into something, guess what? 9 times out of 10, somebody going to want you. But, in general, my main thing is to show them. That's why I like taking on a persona of being what I call the GQG, geek. That's my thing. Like, I live off that persona. I have a certain image. Like when you see the Brother Binary image, he has a button-up. But the button-up is one button on, and he has a loose tie. I'm big into, like, the shirts and tie thing, and I wear them untucked. Like, that's all pressed, straight down, clean jeans or khakis, and some clean gym shoes, like running shoes. That's my look. That's Brother Binary's look, though. But I want people to see, like, okay, it's cool to be in technology. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a beautiful field. It's a beautiful career. Just embrace it, though. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid because you don't see many of us. Don't be afraid because you don't see somebody in your neighborhood not doing it. Don't be afraid because of what your peers are saying or might think. Because at the end of the day, like I tell them, send them your invoice. That's all that matters. Because they're going to come to you when their computer's broke
or something, their network's not working right in the house, something's going awry and they need help, cool. Oh, yeah, I remember back in high school, you used to call me a geek. Hey, that's all well done now. Here's my invoice. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You got 30 days.
And look how I'm feeding my family now. That's at the end of the day, that's what matters. Look how I'm feeding my family. Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because I have people hit me up on Facebook. Hey, as a matter of fact, I got a friend right now that here in a few minutes I'm actually about to go and help him fix his internet connection problem. See? That's so, if we could get them to embrace it, if we could show them, if we could just go to them, if we could just bring some laptops, bring some computers, bring some people that they can identify with, i.e. skin color, personally, that's just me, and they can sit there and have a conversation with you, and they can talk about stuff on the computer, and you can be like, yeah, do this, do that. Okay, cool, let's learn how to do this. I'll learn with you. There's some programming languages I want to learn. Let's learn together. Cool, I'll bring the books with me. We'll work on this together and have fun while doing it. We'll listen to hip-hop in the background. We'll listen to some R&B since I'm a DJ. We'll do that. We'll bring in some food. We'll turn on the music, and we'll learn some technology. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to bring that to people, and that's what I want to do. That's my idea of making them learn, making them feel comfortable in an environment in which they already don't feel accustomed to or comfortable with. I definitely agree. Hey, James, I definitely thank you. Man, this has been a real interesting and a real enjoyable podcast, man. I thank you for that, man.
And thank you.
And I definitely wish you luck on the brotherbinary.com. I know it's going to be huge. Once we get the Blacks in Technology site is already up, but we're going through, like I said, a redesign. Once it's up, I'm definitely going to throw links and, try to do as much, to push traffic your way as well as, some of the other people that, as a matter of fact, I think Nerdy Fly Girl, just responded to one of my tweets to her because I just thanked her for following us. So, if anything that I can do to help anybody, any black technologists out there, I'm always willing to do. I don't know if are you a member on the site yet?
I believe so. If I'm correct, I looked at it, I think, like 2 days ago just to make sure, and I believe I am. I just need to start posting in some of the forums. That's what I need to start doing. No more excuses. No more excuses.
Gotcha. I always, invite people, if they're not already members, to become members, and if, they're not active members, to, just come and drop some knowledge on the site sometimes, man. We always have real good, tech-oriented talks on the sites, and sometimes they go over into social issues, and, sometimes they don't, sometimes they're strictly tech, but I always, want to invite people. Yeah, definitely. Because I like what your thought and your vision, and it's definitely aligned with the vision that I have for Blacks in Technology, man. And hopefully, man, here in October, man, we can get up there. We can all meet up and have some fun together, geek out, man.
Let's geek it out, man. Definitely appreciate it. And much love to you and your family, and I'll definitely be speaking to you soon.
Okay, one before we leave. Go ahead and give the URL for your site and give your Twitter handle and any other relevant information that you want to throw out there.
Yeah, check me out, www.brotherbinary.com. That's BROTHABINARY. Twitter, exact same thing. Look for my actual page now that's on Facebook. Just put Brother Binary. You can hit me up, email, which is brotherbinary@gmail.com. If you like R&B, one more plug. If you like R&B, tune into my site. It's go out to radio.depaul.edu Thursday nights from 5:30 to 7:30. That's Central Standard Time. You want to listen to the best in R&B and Radio DePaul's only R&B radio station. Go ahead and tune into that and get ready for the blog to come up. Come geek it out with me. We're going to make things happen. We're going to create a movement, and the movement's going to be strong. So don't get left behind. Get on board.
Hey, thanks. Definitely. Thanks a lot, James, man. I appreciate it, man. Take care.
All right, man. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Blacks in technology.
Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology.